Yeah, hi. Hi, Taaruk. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Congratulations. It's quite a feat getting into the skin of someone who lived in the 20th century. I think you were born in the 21st century, I guess.
I mean, no, I
Yeah.
was actually, I mean, I was born in 1994, but yeah.
Okay, just about. Great. So, Tarak, tell me a little about getting into the skin of this character and, reliving that time, something that you must have read only in history books or, maybe seen Gandhi. I think everyone was very affected by that scene in Gandhi.
Right.
Um, Talk a little about, and also just getting used to the way they spoke, the way they dressed. It was a whole different world.
See, in terms of getting into the skin of it, I feel that I try to identify myself with the character in personal traits rather than the more the more stereotypical kind of how people talk at that time and all of that because because Ram sir always he always told me that we don't have to just because we've been shown that people talk in this formality if you're talking about someone something anything to do with the period drama that you have to talk about this and you have to talk like this and I don't think that we didn't want to kind of show that it's period once you see it the aim was to make that your present. So in terms of the talking, of course there's a certain dialect, there's a certain you know tamiz yeah, for a lack of a
Yeah,
word, for how people spoke back then, because I think the world was a much nicer place.
yeah.
There was definitely room for a lot more courtesy and a lot more empathy for people, um, rather than today. But what I try to do is I try to identify myself with the characteristics and just the situation that the character had. Like, for example, like I feel like the one thing that I found very similar with this character and myself was that he's an underdog, and I've kind of been an
Right.
underdog for my whole life. So, I really kind of identified with that a lot, and of course, because he's a lawyer, um, and because he's what some would call by the book, there is a certain amount of patience and there is a certain amount of composure that the character possesses. And that might not be true for me. So I had to kind of bring in that certain amount of therav for for lack of a word, in that performance, because see where what we were dealing with is someone who is a character who goes from an innocent, naive, blinded by the faith of the British, to someone who you know decides that it's time to open my eyes and fight for my nation and fight for my people and fight for my friends, and goes against the very concrete beliefs that he has, the things that he trusted blindly. So if uh, it's like Ram sir once told me on set, we were shooting, and he said, Taruk, the price of maturity is the loss of innocence.
Yeah.
And and I think one day he told me that. I think every day I kept reminding myself, as we shot it mostly linearly. So as we were shooting it and as I was kind of bringing that gradual change in Kantilal Sani's character, I always remembered, how much of the innocence I'm losing today. As things kept happening, as my friends kept dying, you know, I always remembered that what is that tipping point? What is that tipping
Right.
point? When do I get to that?
Right.
And I was honestly just waiting to feel it organically myself, while doing the things, while saying what I'm obviously supposed to say, but while saying what I'm feeling at that point. And that's how kind of that's how kind of I got into the skin of his journey,
Right.
rather than,
Right.
it is a fictitious character with, it's inspired by
Yeah.
true events. So, I mean, I had that um, kind of liberty to make it much closer to myself. Um, But that's what I guess that's what every actor tries to do. They try to find a part of themselves in a character they're playing.
Yeah. And very different from what you've done before, Taruk, right?
Yes, 100%. So so different. Miles apart.
Right. Talk a little about, Mismatched and your characters there have been very interesting, but very different.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to get the chances to play different characters. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the only thing an actor wants to,
Yeah.
to play something that is so different. Um, Not that I wouldn't like to do, the normal things. It's not like one is better than the other. But at the same time, to get these chances to play something so far apart from you is it's kind of therapeutic almost. You
Mm.
get into different skin, you live a different life, you wear different shoes, you think like a different person, and you kind of detach yourself from yourself for a bit. So it's almost like a breather from all the from the real life that you deal with.
From the hustle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. I mean, you sure you have a different hassle, but it still acts as a sort of a sabbatical from yourself.
So, you spoke about being the underdog all your life. Talk a bit about being that underdog. You
I
come
just think,
from Kashmir or Delhi or
yeah. No,
where exactly? You were
I,
born in Kashmir or?
no, I was born in Delhi actually. Uh,
Okay.
Born in Delhi. My family is from Kashmir. I keep
I
going to
know your
Kashmir.
father's Sanjay Raina, right? I know him well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I keep going to Kashmir. My dad most spends most of his time there now. He
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
He didn't leave, I think, like the rest of us. I think he stayed there, right?
So he left. We all left. We all had to leave.
You
Uh,
left, but you went back.
yes, we went back. We went back in the sense we have a little place there. Of course, I mean the primary place that we live in is Delhi. I mean I live in Mumbai, but my dad lives in Delhi. But now we have that place, and it's really nice to have a piece of ourselves in Kashmir again.
Yeah.
Uh, I know a lot of people haven't done that. A lot of people, especially like, I
Right.
mean, our community hasn't gone back, and understandably so. There's reasons for it.
How important is your Kashmiri identity to you, Taro? You sing in Kashmiri as well, right?
Yes, I mean, I try to. I try to.
Yeah, I know. I've heard you. Uh, well, I've heard you singing.
Really?
Yeah,
In
at your
Kashmiri?
dad's restaurant in Delhi. He's very loyal to you when he plays
I
your
know.
songs.
I know. I try. I've been learning Kashmiri music. Um,
Right.
it's one of those things like I can understand it, but I can't really speak it
Yeah.
that well. But because I've been spoken to so much, so I understand it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I can get by, but I still get stuck. But the
Right.
songs I've been learning over the years, I'm still a little iffy on them. I want to get better. But yeah, I mean, I think my Kashmiri identity is very important. I, uh, I've because I've grown up in that way, listening to all of that around my whole family. It is a massive part of who I am. There is a certain thing I feel when it's weird. I can't explain it, but when I go back to Kashmir, I feel different. The sense of belonging is still there, even though even beyond the circumstances, it's still there. So I genuinely I do connect to Kashmir a lot.
So, does your being an actor, and then you've chosen to be an actor without any family in that business
Uh,
in Bombay. So that is double underdog.
See, some would say it's a very stupid decision. Uh, until you work, it's like
Yeah.
um, till you do something that people kind of get notice of. Everyone is there to give you that advice. He, what do you think this is, and why are you doing this, and this field is like this, and this field is like that, and You shouldn't do this. This is bad. This is this. And I think people lose sight of the fact that we're all just here for the art. Like I never came here to become a movie star. I came here to kind of just be an artist in any capacity, whether it's music, whether it's acting, to kind of help tell stories or tell your own stories. And that is what I wanted to do. I've heard stories all my life. Why can't I tell them now? It's
Right.
it was as simple as that. But then, of course, when you do something that takes notice, then the same people who said that it's a terrible idea tell you that I always knew it. Uh, I believed in you from
When
day
were you
one.
first noticed in the family? When did they first sort of figure, acha, fine, be,
See, the
please,
family
please do?
the family from the start, it kept going from, really supportive to really worried to really supportive to really worried. Because, for the first 5 years that I was here in Mumbai, I didn't have work really, right? I mean, I was auditioning for everything, whether it was a Tide ad or anything. I just wanted to do it. I don't believe I was very good when I came. I mean, I think I got better on the job. Uh, and I think rightly so. I didn't have any formal training. I didn't grow up with the dream of becoming an actor. Um, this was something I set out to kind of try out, and I really found some interest in it. And I was before I knew it, I was too deep into it, and I was like, "Ab to karna hi padega. Now I have to be better at this. Now I have to get good at this. Otherwise, I have no fallbacks." Um, you know. Um, and nobody's gonna just help me
Like
out
a
with the.
good Kashmiri boy, weren't you asked to be an engineer?
I definitely was. In fact, I was asked to be. Till I was about till I was in the ninth grade. I wanted to design cars. Uh, then physics happened. And then I was like, you know what? There are so many people who are designing cars. I'd rather sit in them. That's fine. Um,
Where did you go to school?
in Delhi, DPS Vasant Kunj. I
Oh,
all my whole school life is there. One school.
and then did you go to college or?
I went to college. I went to study in Sydney, in Australia. I
Okay,
studied
what did you
international.
study?
I studied international relations and communications. So then there was a
Okay,
part of
and
me that really wanted to save the world,
yeah.
which my mom was very happy about. And then there was a complete 180 to, yo, let's go to, the movie business.
So was music the way you entered the arts?
I always wanted to be a musician. Like in the sense,
Yeah.
it was a dream that was too big. Like I don't think I ever said it out loud. But if there is something I wanted to be at that time, it was a musician. That is something that I grew up singing. I grew up singing in competitions and on stage, and we had a band and all of that. Like
What
that
was
was
the
the
name of your band?
it was the school band. We called it Iris Alive. Um, I it
Idris Alive.
Yeah, the band was named before I was in it. I got into the
Okay.
band. Um, I had a very good music teacher who kind of educated me a lot about music, Siddharth sir, in school. He really kind of helped me find my taste in music, and the people who were in the band, like, my seniors, our fellow instrumentalists. Like I developed love for music there, um, which was mostly rock music at the time. But yeah, that kind of made me feel like I really connect to this form of art. Like I really connect to music, and never looked back since. So yeah.
So when you came to Bombay, it was, I mean, you decided, okay, I'm moving here because this is where the work
No,
is.
I was actually not that impulsive. I
Okay.
had an audition. I had an
Okay.
audition. He called me for an audition, and it was for a Yash Raj film, and I came in there, and I actually got that film. Uh,
Which
you know,
one?
I mean, it's not made. It didn't really have a title and all of that.
It
Like, it
wasn't
didn't.
made.
was made.
Oh dear.
I actually oscillated
So,
between three Yash Raj films, and unfortunately they didn't get made. But I in the process that kind of taught me a lot because I ended up becoming Adi sir's assistant. I mean Aditya Chopra's assistant.
oh,
So
on basically
on Basic Ray. Yes, and
horrible film, but you must have learned a lot.
I learned everything there is to learn actually. Like, I just the fact that I was around that A league of professionals, in the
Yeah,
business, um,
the top, the top tier.
the top tier, and it was really tough. I mean, I remember the first few days I was a headless chicken, just running around. I didn't know what I was doing, but then I understood, and I think that's been my biggest learning in life. In terms of I understood how a film is made, and that is the biggest thing. That kind of opens a lot. That widens your perspective a lot when you're even working as an actor, or you know what goes behind it. You know everything that is happening on set, why it's happening, what you need to
Right.
do to make your lives easier. Um,
And that too was in Paris, not an easy city to shoot in.
Definitely not. No, no help, no nothing. Like literally.
Nothing.
So yeah, but yeah, that I feel extremely, extremely lucky for because
Right.
that changed a lot for me in terms of just the learning and the knowledge, and of course to have someone like Aditya Chopra kind of just almost teaching you things. It's
Yeah. Great. So then you continued to be his assistant, or what did you do?
no after that. I mean, the film ended, the post ended, the film got released, and then I got a job as a TV host.
Oh,
uh,
which one? I'm sorry, I missed that.
There was a show called Dil Hai Hindustani, and then me and my friend Preet, and we both were TV hosts for that, and then we were hosts for Arrived, a show called Arrived, where Rahman sir was the judge. Also, it was his kind of show. So we did that, and then I went back to doing theater, which I was anyway doing side by side, and then I got to play Aladdin in Disney's and Book My Show's Aladdin, which was the musical that they brought to India. And from then on, then I got a first part in a web series, then I got my first part in a film, and meanwhile I was doing audio dramas and voiceovers, and it's been all over the place. Like I've pretty much done whatever I needed to do uh, to kind of make a living, and just live in this very unforgiving city that we do.
Yeah, so difficult, and you need a certain level of income as well, right? Even if you're out
100%.
of work, you have
100%.
to
In
you have
fact,
to
I
be
think,
groomed. You have to be well groomed. You have to wear
yeah,
decent clothes. You have to,
I
work
mean,
out or whatever.
you do. I mean, I've always been a firm believer of, like let your work speak kind of thing. Um, but you have to
But
do what you
still,
have to do.
yeah,
I think a real actor is tested when they have no work, like
yeah.
which is a lot,
When
which is
they
a
have
lot.
no work,
Yeah, when they have no
yeah,
work, what they do, how
right.
they keep their mind intact when there is no work, because there are just so many things that can just bog you down. It's just you know just the level of, I don't know, maybe fabricated competition or insecurity or overthinking, or this should be how it is, and this you have to stay in this, and you should stay in the press, and all of these, people who tell you things. There's so many people to advise you, so many people who've never done anything like that but to advise you. But
Or you should
it
be papped at the airport, and stories should come out about
which is
you dating someone.
which
There's
is
so
fair.
many
I mean, I
things.
guess I guess there are ways to do things.
Yeah.
And just because one person might not agree with one way doesn't make it wrong. I honestly believe that if that has helped people, at someday I'll do it. Sure. Like, it's fine.
But
I'll
but
I'll
I
come out
feel
with what.
that, yeah, I feel Waking of a Nation is a tipping point for you, Taruk. Don't you think it's a very big meaty role in a very big series.
Definitely. I think the fact that sometimes I think how amazing it is that Ram sir actually believed I could do this.
Yeah,
Um, because I've never felt that belief. Uh, like, out of someone who's just met me. I'm not talking about people who've known me all my life and all of that, you know. But out of someone who was basically I was a stranger to, um, just on the basis of an audition to, do something um, that really kind of a person that puts that kind of faith in me for something so personal,
yeah,
was just was amazing. I think that kind of motivated me to give everything I've got. Like, because I was like, if someone can do that, then the least I can do is give everything I've got to it. Uh, because Ram sir has done it all, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, of course.
uh,
Movies, streaming, everything.
everything. He's done it all. He's at a stage of his life where, he can, everything he says is imparting wisdom. And I'm basically just learning and absorbing. Um, you know, it's like that. Like, I just hope I was able to give him anything because he gave me so much. Like, it's not even a comparison, but like, it really kind of stays with me that he believed in me even when I didn't sometimes.
What next for you?
Next, there are a couple of things that I'm going to do some music for a bit.
Ah, good.
I'm going to do some
I
music.
hope it's Kashmiri music.
I am actually working on Kashmiri music.
Very.
See, it's still new territory for me. So I'm going to take my time on it. I don't want to do something in a hurry. I want to do justice to it. So I think, yeah, I'm going to work on some Kashmiri music, but I'm also starting to perform live. Uh, so that is something that I'm very excited about. But right now, actually, I haven't even thought about what is next because I'm just so see, I haven't seen the show. You probably have.
I have.
I haven't.
It's
So
very good.
I am.
And I think
Um,
your family will be very proud of you.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. I hope I can make
They
the full
don't
TV.
give actors their advanced screener. What is this? This is very
Uh,
undemocratic.
haven't shown me anything. I've not been allowed to see anything. But I guess that is a call that if he's taken, it must be for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, there's a reason for it. So,
Yeah.
but there must be stuff that you must have shot before Waking of a Nation that is going to come out, or no?
Yes, there is some stuff. But again, I don't know if I can talk about it. I don't want to land up in
Yeah, I
trouble.
know. All of you have NDAs and all that. Yeah.
Yes, I would love to tell you
Most of
about it.
it is streaming or movies.
Streaming.
Okay,
Uh,
good.
there is a film as well. But I mean, I don't know where that's coming out. In the sense, like,
Are you going to go back to Yash Raj?
why not? I would love to. I
Yeah,
mean, I've learned so much from there. Like, if one day I get
right.
a call back, I will run. Sure.
Of course, that's one of the biggest production houses. Thank you so
And
much, Taaruk. What does
it's
Taaruk
not
mean?
because of the it's actually half a word. Like, Gasha Taruk is the word, which kind of means like a twinkling star. And I think my parents just
Oh,
took they were kind of on an
Taaruk.
improv.
Acha, Tara. Tara.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Nice. So it's the male version of Tara, I guess.
I guess, yeah, I guess.
Very nice. It's such a nice name. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I really wish you all the best. And I think this will make a difference to your career. I think people will see you in a new light. And I think that's really good for you and for the industry. So it's nice to see people like you in the industry with, who are just here to work
Yeah.
and nothing else.
Thank you so much. I hope I've done enough, or at least attempted to, because
Yeah. No, well done. Thank you so much, Karan. All the best.
thank you so much. Thank you.
All the best. Bye.